So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our prospect rebuild series, and today's going to be Cody Williams to the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are currently in what we refer to as no man's land. This is a team that is, although competing for a playoff spot, they are never serious contenders, but they're also never bad enough to draft somebody who is seriously going to make an impact. So here in the 2024 draft, with the 11th overall pick, if Cody Williams is still sitting on the board, I think he makes a lot of sense for this team. From a size and a physicality standpoint, he's kind of like a really solid NBA mold right now. He is the younger brother of Jalen Williams on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We obviously all know how that kind of worked out. And then in his 1 year in Colorado, I really think he shot the ball really well. So obviously there's a lot of things that need to go right for him to be a really serviceable NBA player, but I predict that he probably will be one someday with the right development. Finally, before we get into the video, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. Of course, we're kind of looking for things right now over these next 2 weeks or whatever it's going to be, as we're kind of in the middle of no man's land, much like the Chicago Bulls, as we slowly await free agency, draft, trades, all that fun stuff. So anything else you want to see, let me know down below in the comment section. Let's get into this one. We've gotten to the point of these prospect rebuilds where we're so late in the draft that it doesn't make any sense to show you guys all the picks. So I already did the order that I've done the prospect rebuilds in so far. So Cody Williams, we went ahead and took him 11th overall, 19 years of age at a 75 overall out of Colorado. I am very excited to see what the future could be for him here in a Chicago Bulls jersey. Now, obviously, this is a franchise that has a lot of decisions to make about the way they're going to move forward with a team that is not very great, to be honest with you, just putting it lightly. So let's talk about it. Kobe White had a fantastic season, was in the conversation for most improved player. I think he should actually be a few ticks higher than an 82 overall, but he's certainly a serviceable enough player where he definitely could be my point guard the entire time. Lonzo Ball, probably not going to have the longest tenured career. I'm just trying to take a guess at this point. Look, Lonzo's absolutely fantastic when he's on the court. I've loved the jumps that he's made in his game, from Los Angeles where it wasn't so great. Pretty solid stint in New Orleans. Then honestly, if you guys remember back to that 21-22 season, the Bulls, when Lonzo was healthy, they were the 1 seed in the East. So I'm not saying that was real or they were ever actually going to be, one of the top contending teams in the Eastern Conference, but Lonzo was doing some pretty good things for this Bulls team. So obviously, you hope to have him back from injury next season. It has been a long time since this man has played basketball, though. Javon Carter, not really sure if we have any long-term plans. Decent defensive guard, probably really about it, though. I just don't really see a long-term future with him at 28 years old and a 74 overall. The shooting guard spot, talk about awkward tension. Zach LaVine got a very, very nice contract extension a few off seasons ago, and then has been injured and just feels like kind of pouty in general. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with Zach LaVine. I mean, I've had him before in some of these other rebuilds, and he's actually played pretty well. So I just don't know. I don't love the contract. I don't really love the player, so we'll kind of go year to year. Alex Caruso was certainly somebody I thought could have been moved at the deadline for at least one first-round pick. I think it becomes even more likely that the cost for him is going to be greater than one first-round pick. So he is a name I expect the Bulls to move this offseason, or at least look to move, but then again, they don't really make many trades ever, so that's just the Chicago Bulls. Io's 24. I like him quite a bit. At a 79 overall, certainly can see him being a serviceable enough role player on this team. So we're going to see, again, a lot of guys here at the shooting guard spot. And then Dalen Terry's only 22. Not a terrible overall at a 74, but again, a lot of names in front of him right now. Small forward spot, DeMar DeRozan, who is a possible, free agent this offseason. I have no idea if the Bulls are going to bring him back. They would be stupid to do so, and it's not because DeMar DeRozan isn't a good player. He is a very, very good player. I like DeMar quite a bit. But at age 34, if he's only looking to get a payday, I guess maybe the Bulls make sense. If he's looking to compete and try to win a championship, I think he should take his talents elsewhere. I also think from the Bulls' perspective of this, DeMar's going to help you win some games. He's not going to help you as a serious contender in the East, but he's also not going to be bad enough where you're really getting a good draft pick. This is the middle of the pack nightmare that the Chicago Bulls are in. Jerry Reinsdorf, you stink. All right, we just drafted Cody Williams, talked about him a little bit. Definitely going to get him some decent minutes right now. We got Julian Phillips, and then I'm not really sure who this is. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend I do. Patrick Williams, I think he could definitely use a new team, new situation. I think he has really good intangibles, and I think he could be a really good player in the NBA for a long time. It's just about developing him right. Obviously has a lot of defensive tools that are really good. Looking for a little bit more offense, though. Javonte Green and then Torrey Craig, just kind of veteran pieces that I don't really see as long-term options here. And then Nikola Vucevic, I'm not really a fan. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I am. He's 33 years old. I don't see him getting much better. Andre Drummond actually was pretty good for the minutes that he played. Obviously one of the best rebounders of all time. Look it up if you don't believe me. So that's the team right now. That's just where we're at. It's the reality of the situation, and we have some big decisions to make. Lonzo's going to pick up his player option. Torrey Craig's going to pick up his player option. We're going to bring back Dalen Terry, and then Batum, however you pronounce it. No, thank you. All right, I just want to put it out there. This is also not a realistic rebuild. One more time, not a realistic rebuild. I will qualify Patrick Williams. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls do exactly this. They qualify him and then maybe let him go somewhere else if somebody's willing to pay him a decent amount of money, but that is just me. So Williams and Sanogo looks like our two free agents right now. And then obviously you got DeMar DeRozan sitting here as well, and we are technically able to pay him if we want. I think it's just I'm probably going to let him go, right? I mean, I gave a whole speech about how I think the Bulls should do in real life, and although this is not a realistic rebuild, and I certainly could just sign and trade him and for some assets, whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to let him walk. I'm going to let him go hopefully compete for a ring somewhere else, because obviously right now it's not going to be here. So that's that. Again, maybe not the smartest decision, but nobody wants to see me just sign and trade a guy and have the easiest rebuild of all time. So we'll make it a little more challenging as well. I do have a few trades coming up right now, though. A 1-for-1 swap with the Utah Jazz is going to see us land Walker Kessler. He's 22 years of age. He's an 81 overall, and I think from an upside potential, I think I'd prefer him over Lonzo Ball. Look, I think there is a comeback and a potential for Lonzo Ball to still be really good in the NBA. Unfortunately, with the situation we have right now, when we're not necessarily trying to be good, and I understand Utah is probably not either, but Lonzo Ball was not going to have starting minutes here. He really wasn't. Maybe he goes to Utah, gets a decent amount of minutes, and maybe gets a payday next offseason, but that's not going to happen here, as we are making a player-for-player swap with the Utah Jazz. Now we're sending Nikola Vucevic over to the San Antonio Spurs. I have no idea why they have any level of interest in him, but they do, and they want to send me 26-year-old Zach Collins along with the 2026 first-round pick for him. I'm certainly going to take that. So in all honesty, Collins will be the new backup center. Obviously, we went ahead and just made the trade, and now we have our starting center as well. But getting rid of Nikola Vucevic kind of felt like something that was inevitable. I don't think there's a chance in hell they actually acquire a first-round pick for him, but it is a deal that I am very happy about. Again, we're trying to tear this thing down before we build it back up. We are sending Alex Caruso, Javon Carter, and Julian Phillips over to the Miami Heat for Nikola Jovic and Duncan Robinson. Obviously, Jovic is the kind of prized piece in this deal. He is the reason we are making this trade. And again, I think he gives us a little bit of a different look at the power forward spot than Patrick Williams would. A little bit more offensive upside here with Jovic. I think my plan right now is to bring back Williams as well. Of course, he's probably going to ask for $20+ million a year, but it's just kind of the reality of the NBA today and 2K in general. So Robinson, probably not a long-term piece for us, but again, moving off of Caruso, who I do think is a really, really talented player and can be really beneficial to a contender. Unfortunately, we're just not a contender. So we're going to take the young prospect here with Jovic, going to be my new backup power forward. And then Duncan Robinson, probably just going to flip him almost immediately. Again, heading into year one, I think it's going to be Levine. I've decided I don't want to hang on to him for now. I kind of give him a full season. And I do want Io getting backup minutes. So really not a spot for Duncan Robinson. So if I can trade him for a point guard or a backup small forward, I would certainly look to maybe do something like that. Again, I don't want to give up any sort of draft capital whatsoever. So just somebody preferably who is relatively, somebody who is relatively young and not going to cost me a fortune would be pretty much the ideal target I am looking. Oh my God, geriatric Chris Paul. Not a lot of options there in terms of players that fit the mold of what I'm looking for. I could go out and maybe make a trade for Terrence Mann. I don't really love the idea of that right now. So Bojan just a little too old. Gabe Vincent regresses like crazy, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think it's probably just going to be the draft picks then. All right, that's fine by me. San Antonio Spurs want to make another deal with us. They want to give me 2 firsts for Duncan Robinson. I don't know. Maybe you want a little bit more shooting, open up the floor for Wemby. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out an idea. So Kobe White and Zach LaVine's going to be my backcourt. Dalen Terry honestly could just get backup small forward minutes. He is 6'7", and we are not really trying to be a good team in year one. So you know what? I'm actually fine by that. We're going to get Dalen Terry a little bit of run, backing up Cody Williams, and then we do have to find ourselves a new backup point guard. And then Torrey Craig's not going to play, so I'm going to re-sign Williams as well, and that's just going to kind of be where we're at right now. We mentioned we're letting DeMar DeRozan go. Patrick Williams wants about $18 million annually, which certainly isn't my favorite deal in the world, but I can live with it as we enter year one in a tanking position right now. So 4 years, about $80 million for Patrick Williams. Again, with the way NBA contracts are today, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a figure kind of close to that. So I don't exactly know which one of these gentlemen will be starting for us heading into year one, but I know that we're just going to kind of see how things go. And then the backup point guard spot. Honestly, a guy like Markelle Fultz wouldn't be too bad. Still relatively young at only 26. Overall isn't great, but he's also not asking for a ton of money. So how about a 3-year deal here with Markelle Markelle Fultz, about $8-9 million annually. I think that's a really good kind of backup point guard contract for us. And then Torrey Craig, as we mentioned, she's not going to be on this team. So if anybody wants to be an idiot and give me a first, I'm not swapping or anything. Can somebody please just give me a goddamn first-round pick? Thank you very much, Detroit. All right, nobody's ever accused you guys of being a smart franchise. Okay, we are now in a position where we're very likely going to be a bad team next season, but we've done a really good job of kind of building this or ripping this thing down so we can build it back up eventually. So see you guys at the start of year one. We've decided to take a path that is not really in the vocabulary of the Chicago Bulls. We've decided to rebuild. We are committing to a tank. We are very much aware we are probably not going to be a good team this season. And that is kind of fine by me. Again, we could have maybe gone all in, re-signed DeMar DeRozan, tried to swing a couple big trades to make this team a top 4 seed. Just really didn't feel like the smart path for me. So heading into a year one that, although maybe doesn't seem like it's going to be a super fun year, and it's probably not, it is definitely going to benefit us long term. I think that's exactly what I was planning on when we head into this video. So here's how it's going to look. It's Coby White, Zach LaVine. I am starting Cody Williams. Now the game is recommending I start Dalen Terry, and I play our 11th overall pick here 12 minutes a night. I'm not going to do that. I think the potential is higher here on Williams. I certainly like to try to take advantage of that. Nikola Jovic is going to start. Game also recommends I start Patrick Williams. I decided to go a little bit more offensive oriented, especially because our center here with Walker Kessler is a little bit more defensive oriented, whereas with Vucevic, a little bit more offensive upside with him. So that's why I made the decision I make. I also just like Nikola Jovic just a tiny bit more than Patrick Williams. So that's just where we're at right now. Bench unit's actually pretty solid. I give a lot of credit to the way this bench currently is. I think this is a sustainable bench that can be a competitive bench in 1 or 2 years from now. So it is Ayo Dosunmu as my 6th man here. You got Patrick Williams behind him, Zach Collins, who we acquired from the San Antonio Spurs, Markelle Fultz, who we signed away from the Magic in free agency, and then Dalen Terry, who again they're recommending 26 minutes a night in the starting lineup. It's just not going to happen. So that's where we're at right now. I will also read you something. This did play a factor into my decision to kind of go about it in a rebuilding fashion, if you will. Chicago's first round pick to San Antonio Spurs in 2025, protected for selections 1 through 10, 1 through 8 in 2026, and 1 through 8 in 27. So I want this to be the bad year, obviously. You know, I think there was a possibility we were going to be bad no matter what. Might as well kind of almost guarantee we get our draft pick as well. So that's my thought process. Again, will not be a fun season statistically and probably win-loss wise, but I'm pretty happy with the way this thing's kind of started out. So I'll see you guys at the end of year one. It sucks to see, but we all knew it was coming. And no, I'm not talking about the Luka Doncic MVP. I'm talking about our record of 19-63. We wanted to be bad. We got exactly what we wanted. It sucks right now. But no, it's a 33.5 point triple-double for Luka. Who? Okay. I've never seen that before. Typically, it's Alex Sarr, sometimes Reza Shea. Okay, good for you, Jalen Tyson. Brickleberry Simmons, 6th man of the year. Wemby is your D. Poizar Thompson, most improved. Tyrese Maxey, who is so goddamn good, is your clutch player of the year. And Jason Kidd, head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, is your coach of the year. All right, we are, as I mentioned, 19-63, which puts us at the worst record in the East. And it is the worst record in all of basketball, which, I mean, it's what we were wanting. I didn't think it would be the worst team in the league, but I mean, yes, you can get what you asked for. LaVine was pretty good, though. All things considered, he was 28 points a game, about 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He was about 56% from the field, and he was about 42% from three. So really strong bounce-back season for LaVine. You know, whether or not we keep him is still, up in the air, but I'm very happy with the job Zach LaVine did for us. Cody Williams, pretty solid rookie campaign. I will 1,000% take that. About 14-3-1. We'd like to eventually look for a little bit more playmaking, but he was 46% from the field. 27% from three was not great. Wasn't he like a 40% three-point shooter in college? All right, well, that's not great, but again, he is a rookie, so we can live with it. Nikola Jovic, Walker Kessler, Collins, Fultz, Williams, Dosunmu, and then Terry. Rebounds per game is going to be Kessler. In assists was Coby White. So, worst team in the league does obviously not result in a playoff appearance. We are just going to sim through this round, and hopefully we will be back next year. It is a Cavaliers and a Thunder finals, and it is going to be the Thunder winning in 6 as SGA takes home finals MVP. All right, and this is a very important offseason. As you can see, LeBron James calls it a career. This is a very important offseason for a couple different reasons. One, we could maybe make a big swing at a star prize, whatever you want to call it, free agent. And then this is also a really big moment right now because obviously we are projected, if you will, to have the number 1 overall pick. It's going to probably say it's going to go to San Antonio, but it's not supposed to, so I will be reclaiming my pick. And then that Portland pick as well, I think has some protections. I'll confirm that before we go ahead and sim, or after we sim this. So let's see what we have. We end up with the... Where the hell is it? Oh, okay, maybe the pick was properly protected because it has us at 5 right now, and then it also has us at 9 from Portland. So I just want to read and make sure that we're actually supposed to have that Portland pick. Let's see. Protected 1 through 14 in 2025. All right, so we got to send it back to Portland. You know, if I'm going to do this one way, I got to do it both ways. So I will respect the protections on the picks, even if 2K does not. We got screwed a little bit. We have the 5th overall pick after having the worst record in the league. Billy Donovan is now a coaching free agent, if you will. I think it is a good idea to just maybe wipe the slate clean, throw a couple of offers out to 3 good head coaches here in Missoula, Kidd, and Daignault. So I'm going to offer all those guys. It could be a fun style for video, but I like to mix it up every now and then. So I'm going to offer all 3 of these coaches like max salary deals, and hopefully at least one of them says yes. You know, it could be one of those situations where nobody does. And all right, Mark Daignault or Jason Kidd. Actually, looks like Daignault's ratings are a little better. So, you know, we'll go with him. Welcome to the team, Mark. Excited to have you here. So up to the draft, number 5 overall pick. I'm going to send the Blazers back their selection as well, but let me just see what I can do. I am of the opinion that Cooper Flagg would make a lot of sense for this team. We're kind of looking for a guy to be the new face of the franchise, and although we do have 2 pretty decent options at the power forward spot right now, with Jovic, with Williams, Cooper Flagg feels like he's just a level ahead of both of those players. So, number 5 overall, number 1 overall, Brooklyn Nets, you make a lot of stupid decisions. Let's just make another one. Give me the number 1 overall pick. I'll give you some future assets, and I don't really have a lot of players down here I could really trade. We have a lot of guys who are kind of, you know, expiring and have team options, if you will. I would be willing to throw Markelle Fultz in. That's fine. And then it's probably just going to have to be draft picks after that. The pick to the Blazers is now back in their possession. It's lottery protected for like 3 years. So what I'll actually do is just maybe try to unload that and make it somebody else's responsibility. And then I would be willing to give up my first in 28. I'm going to be careful. Oh, wait, no. Next year's 26. So I don't have my first next year. I don't really know where that's at right now. But we're just going to trade. Okay. Perfect. We gave up a decent amount, obviously, to get it, but Cooper Flagg is going to be my guy. I'm going to play him at the power forward spot, and I am very excited about that. I think he is going to be a superstar in this league moving forward. He's an 81 overall right now, and I'm pumped about it. Kessler, Jovic, Terry, all coming back, and then qualifying, we have none. And then we enter a free agency class that is pretty good. There are a lot of kind of big named players here, and I don't really know if we are, you know, able to get any of them, but I'd certainly like to make an effort. So we are going to clear up a little bit of money right now. I'm going to move some positions around. I'll see you guys with whatever's next. Some of you are probably not going to like this because it is a little bit risky, but the way we've gone about this rebuild has been very risky already. So we're just going to basically dump Zach LaVine's salary. We're going to move off of him. We're going to make another deal here with Brooklyn, and then Dariq Whitehead in a 2027 first to coming back here. Again, it's probably not the smartest move, but I want to sign one of the big names in free agency, and $46 million on my cap sheet is certainly not a way to do that. So moving off of him, we get a Phoenix pick. That is from the Kevin Durant trade, and then I'm not going to keep Dariq Whitehead here, and then I'm probably going to have to move off Zach Collins or Patrick Williams as well, which is honestly kind of fine by me if it gets me, you know, some sort of star player. I'd be willing to do it. I'm just curious. Like, okay, so we do have money, so I don't have to move off anybody right now. Positionally, I don't think Jason Tatum makes sense. I love Tatum. I'm a Celtics fan. You all know that. Hopefully he played well last night. You guys have seen this Thursday. I'm recording it Tuesday. I have no idea what happened in Game 3, but he has not played very well so far. I am going to probably pass on the opportunity of signing him just because we have a lot of forwards on this team, and as much as maybe it's not a smartest decision, I want Cody Williams to start again next year, and obviously we went ahead and just drafted Cooper Flagg. So my attention is turned to one of 3 options right now. It is Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, or Kyrie Irving. I would really, really like to get one of them. And it is a little bit risky because there's almost a 100% chance I could sign Jamal Murray because he has no offers, but I am going to hope that one of these big names, kind of superstar players, would be willing to sign with me. I doubt it's going to be Jalen Brunson. I'm going to throw the offer out there. Donovan Mitchell also has 12 offers. Highly doubt he would be willing to do it. But I think Kyrie Irving would maybe consider it. Consider is, you know, the key word there. Again, don't know if he will, but I'm going to try. It sucks you only have 3 offers. I wish you had more. I'm just hoping I get literally 1. That's all I want. Just give me 1. We get none. Fuck. Okay, well, that's the risk you take. We've gone about this in a risky way so far, and now Jamal Murray has 10 offers. All right, well, now beggars can't be choosers, so if Jason Tatum genuinely does want to come here, I will obviously take him. I'm going to hope and beg that Jamal Murray maybe wants to come here as well. Again, this is a fuck ton of money for Jamal Murray, but I'm going to go ahead and offer it because I can't lose out on everybody, right? We're just in a terrible position if we do that. And then all the restricted guys here like Cunningham, Barnes, and Green, I'm just going to pay, and Mobley, I'm just going to pass. They're all going to get matched in Wagner. So one of Tatum or Murray, please. Thank God. Okay. Maybe it was, the last guy on our list, but at least it is somebody here in Jamal Murray. JT goes back to the Celtics. Thank God we got somebody. We might have, again, overpaid a little bit, but I am very, very happy that at least we have somebody here moving forward. I've decided that we just simply do not have enough. Look, I wanted to go ahead and kind of run it with this young core, but I think kind of banking all in right now, having an established core of really good players is the smartest way to go about this. So I'd like to add Franz Wagner to this team. Only 3.5 stars, and I certainly do have the draft capital to add him to this team. So I know I also said I wanted Cody Williams to start next year. That's probably not happening. So just kind of came to, it's a situation where we're at. Unfortunately, I don't always, kind of get what I want, and sometimes things go off course a little bit. I also moved Kobe White to the shooting guard spot. That's totally fine by me. So now we have Franz Wagner. It's going to be him and Cody Williams, who, after a pretty decent rookie campaign, will be moving to the bench unit, unfortunately. But again, it's a prospect rebuild. It's just because you get drafted in the lottery does not mean you're always going to start. So it's going to be Jovic and then Flag. We're good here, and then I just need to find myself a new backup point guard. So Jose Alvarado, welcome to Chicago, hopefully. Please, thank you. I will see you guys at the start of year 2. The train came off the tracks a little bit in the offseason. I had these big plans to sign some superstar free agent. Obviously, we never landed one of those guys. We still got a really, really good point guard here in Jamal Murray, but we had to pivot a little bit, and then pivot we did. I mean, this is an entirely new team, basically. Obviously, this is a group that can now be competitive. We just have to determine, is it good enough? So I don't know the answer to that question yet, but I think we do have quite a bit of talent. We have a really deep team, and I'm excited. I really am. It is Jamal Murray and Kobe White here in the backcourt. Franz Wagner, who we just acquired from Orlando. At my small forward spot, we have Cooper Flag, who we just drafted number 1 overall at the power forward position, and then Walker Kessler as a starting center. Bench unit is really good. It is a quality depth bench. Iowa's going to still be my 6th man. Got Zach Collins backup center. Cody Williams playing 15 minutes tonight. It's unfortunate. I know we cut his minutes in half, basically, if not even worse, but it's just the reality of the way these things go. Nikola Jovic is my backup power forward, and then Jose Alvarado rounding out my 10-man rotation. So, again, we swung for the stars, and we just couldn't get it done. So, I mean, we wanted a home run. We hit a double. It's just the reality of the way these rebuilds go. But no, I'm happy with this team. I certainly am not waving the white flag or anything. I think this team can definitely be competitive, and I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Year 2 ends with a record of 44-38. Although it's not, a serious contending record, it's better than year 1, and I will take that for where we are at right now. SGA coming off a Finals MVP, wins regular season MVP. Cooper Flag does win Rookie of the Year, so he was really good for us. 20 points a game, about 7 boards, 2 assists, 1.5 steal, 1 block. The shooting splits are not fantastic by any means, but I will live with it. He's a rookie. Nicole Topic, your 6th man of the year in San Antonio. Wemby, also in San Antonio, your depoy. James Wiseman, now in Indiana, most improved player. Luka, clutch player of the year. Billy Donovan, 61-21 for the Demons there in Oklahoma City. All right, let's get into the standings a little bit. I have no idea where this kind of shakes out. We're a 6th seed. Good news is, 2 good things, actually. 1, good news, avoid the plan. 2, good news, we are facing the Charlotte Hornets in round 1. The bad news, obviously, we are a 6th seed. So that is where we are at with that. Let's dive into some numbers real quick, just see how things are kind of looking all across the board. It was Jamal Murray, Cooper Flag, Franz Wagner. So we had 3 guys that were 19-plus points per game, which is always a good sign. Kobe White took a little bit of a dip. Well, actually, nearly not that. I didn't even really realize he kind of fell off a little bit after his most improved candidate season, if you will. Collins, Kessler, Williams, Asumu, Jovic, and then Alvarado. Rebounds per game was Kessler, and then assists was Jamal Murray. All right, as I mentioned, we got the Charlotte Hornets here, round 1. Not really sure how they're a 3 seed. Do they add anybody? Tobias Harris. You got Drummond coming off the bench now. Nick Richards. How many fucking big men do you need? All right, well, here goes nothing. They definitely could have the best player in the series in LaMelo Ball. I like our team a little bit better, though. So we are down 2-1 right now. We do tie it up at 2-2. Go up 3-2. We're in the second round. We're in the second round. After dropping the first 2 on the road, we win 4 straight games. And it is now the Orlando Magic, who we went ahead and obviously made the big trade with to add Franz Wagner. But they added Jalen Green. They've added Jalen Green and Cason Wallace, and now they got Patrick Williams, who we traded there, and now they have Jalen Duren. I'm not really sure how they did all of that, but they did. And now here goes nothing. I need a Franz Wagner revenge series right now, as we are down 2-1, down 3-1. Losing 5. Okay. This season has clearly shown that we're good. We're just not quite good enough. And although I really do think another year of development is going to benefit this team, I think at least one more major trade kind of has to happen. I'm not saying that, it's anything surprising. It's just the way things are kind of going right now. So it sucks. I wish it was, a little bit of better news, but it's just, it's unfortunate. Fuck that. Did I trade that Phoenix pick to Orlando? Fucking god damn it. Oh, I shot myself in the foot with that one, didn't I? Well, I gave up the 6th overall pick for Franz Wagner, is what it is. Happy with the job Mark Daigneault's done. I do not think we have any picks, right? Yeah, I traded all of them. So we're skipping over the draft entirely. Team player options. Cody Williams obviously coming back. This is his rebuild. Jovic and Kessler going to both be entering restricted free agency. And then oh my God. Well, I have to make sure I get my guys back. We're going to pay everybody here, basically. And I am just going to do this in a slow and smart manner. I already paid Kobe. And then I will do, how much does Io want? He wants about 14. So that takes care of 3 of them. That is White, Kessler, and Dosunmu. Now I got to not renounce Collins, not renounce Jovic. And now I got to get them both back. Holy shikes. This is long process. But nope, we got all 5 of these guys back, thankfully. It is now time for a big trade. Okay, a deal with the Orlando Magic once again is going to see us land Jalen Green. Look, he was like the 4th highest overall shooting guard, and he was pretty much the only player that was this good, that's realistic, that I can actually trade for. And I know I traded for Devin Booker the other day. Sorry to spoil that if you haven't watched it. But Jalen Green feels like a good addition to this team. Insane season for him last season, and I'm happy he's here. There was nothing wrong with Kobe White. I think we did need an upgrade. I was a little disappointed in some of his numbers. I know there's a lot of talent around him, but Jalen Green is certainly a better player. So now I need to find myself a new backup center, and then we're going to enter the final season with high hopes. A little nerve-wracking, but Paul Reed, come on down. You're going to be the replacement for Zach Collins, and that's actually fine by me. Is there a small upgrade I can find for Jose Alvarado? Like, we still have some draft picks. Again, it's not anything fantastic. Like, Kobe Buffkin is, well, the numbers aren't really great. Oh, man. Sharif Cooper. Well, that's actually not bad. You know what? I'll take a flyer on Sharif Cooper. That's cool. I'll see you guys at the start of the final regular season. This might be the true test of, can a team win a championship without a true superstar? You know, without a true top 10 player. Because in all honesty, I don't know if we have one of those on our team right now. We have a very balanced attack, and we have a lot of really good star players. I just don't see a superstar here right now. So it's certainly going to raise some questions as we've only made it to the second round of the playoffs. I'm very excited about the Jalen Green edition, but I'm still nervous. So here's how it's going to go. It is Jamal Murray, Jalen Green, Franz Wagner, Cooper Flagg, Walker Kessler, bench unit, Io Dosunmu, Nikola Jovic, Cody Williams, Paul Reed, and then Sharif Cooper, who is basically the same overall as we had with Alvarado. So 10 minutes a night. I will see you guys at the end of the final regular season. By far our best regular season record yet at 63-19. I will 1000% take that. You know, it's not a 75-win God squad that I've put together often and has done before, but it is a good, balanced attack, and I think this team can maybe make a little noise. Wemby's your MVP. You know, for how good he is, you really don't see the MVP come around too often in these 3-year rebuilds. Elsie Harrington, Rookie of the Year in New Orleans. Josh Giddey. Okay. Wemby also the D-boy. Hugo Gonzalez. Was Giannis the last player to win MVP and D-boy in the same season? I think he was. Jalen Brunson signed with the Clippers instead of us. Well, all right. And what the fuck? Okay, well, just when I thought maybe, hey, we had the best record. Nope, it is Popovich. Still going strong. Just curious, who's here? Okay. Let's dive into some numbers real quick, see how everybody and kind of how everything shook out. It was Jalen Green, Cooper Flagg, Jamal Murray, Wagner, Kessler, Jovic, Williams, Dosunmu, Reed, and Cooper. Rebounds per game was Kessler, and assists was Jamal Murray. So we are the 1 seed. Surprise, surprise. We have the Philadelphia 76ers in round 1, who have a very old Paul George. They have Devin Carter, they have Maxey, and obviously Joel Embiid, who's still very, very good. So certainly not a cakewalk in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Well, maybe it is. We're up 3-0. Okay, easier than I thought. Now it is the Brooklyn Nets, the team that we have made a few deals with now. They have an 84 overall Kawhi, 84 overall. This team just does not move me. No way. Yet to lose a game. Yet to lose a game. We are the furthest we've been so far, but this Cavs team is always a gigantic pain in the ass because, as I'm sure many of you are aware, there's a lot of good players here. So let's see what happens here in the Eastern Conference Finals. We are currently 1-1. We go down 2-1, tied it up at 2-2, down 3-2. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Well, a disappointing end. Overall-wise, certainly wasn't a disappointing rebuild. You know, it kind of felt like things kind of went a little stray in that second offseason when we tried to offer, 5 of the top, free agents, and none of them wanted to come here. Which is fair because we were the worst team in the league the year before. But, we kind of made do with what we had. And although we did not win a championship, I think we still put together a really competitive product. And for those of you saying, well, why didn't you just do a 5-year rebuild? You certainly would have won a championship. Well, you're probably right. And the 5-year rebuilds are coming post-draft. I'm sure many of you have heard that statement many times at this point, but some people just cannot get it through their ears. It goes one in, one out the other. But I promise you they're coming. They definitely will be after the draft, along with many other fun rebuilds. But we have to kill time until then. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.